So I saw something yesterday I thought I wanted to share this with you. It's a modern wellness idea called the 4 doctors, which is quite reassuring really, because it kind of suggests that I can be reasonably healthy without visiting a surgery that smells of antiseptic and despair. And the idea basically comes from ancient medicine. It comes from a thing called the theory of the 4 humours. And this goes right back to ancient medicine, where everything involved balancing bodily fluids, probably having too much bile in your system, and almost everything could be cleared with leeches. Luckily, we've moved on since then. Mostly, I think, apart from the leeches. But the modern theory of the 4 doctors is probably a lot more relatable. So let's take a look at it. So the first doctor is called Dr. Happy. And this one asks, are you actually happy? Not Instagram happy. Certainly not TikTok happy. Not I'll be fine once I've paid off my mortgage happy. But properly, quietly content. Internally happy. And this is really relevant because if your mortgage payment's got you hiding behind the sofa every time the first of the month comes around, that's not happiness. That's more like endurance. And stoic endurance is hardly a long-term plan. And then we've got Dr. Movement. And as we all know, life moves. Jobs change. Businesses start. Families grow. Sometimes unexpectedly. Your mortgage and your bills, though, they have a tendency to sit there kind of stubbornly, like a piece of Victorian furniture that just refuses to adapt to modern society. And if your circumstances have changed but your mortgage hasn't, that's probably a conversation we ought to be having. And next up is Dr. Diet. And in this case, no, not food. Although round here, if biscuits were ever removed from the food chain, you'd think the world would collapse in a couple of days. But this is the doctor that looks at what's quietly draining your resources. Outdated rates, old deals. The financial equivalent of all those calories you never knew you were eating. Because obviously it's a Sunday and there is no such thing as calories on a Sunday. And then finally there's Dr. Quiet. This one's about peace of mind. And it's that deeply underrated feeling that, well, if life throws a wobbler, illness, accident, income changes, any of those sort of things, then you've got a plan in place. Not excitement, not drama, just quiet. And this is where your mortgage and protection starts to become a lot about your well-being. It's not about chasing the biggest number or the loudest promise. It's all about balance. And whether or not what you arranged years ago still makes sense now. Because life doesn't stand still. And if your mortgage and protection hasn't been reviewed since, well, before streaming services were even invented, then you might just be due for a checkup. No panic, no pressure, just a sensible look at the paperwork. And maybe a cup of tea while we're at it. Speak to you soon. Bye-bye.